It had been 2 months ago when I began to notice the changes. It wasn't anything particularly nerve-wracking, as it had started out with other people, complete strangers I'd never even spoken a word to, but saw them regularly on my daily commute to work. People who I swear looked a very specific way every time I saw them before, but now looked different. It wasn't major changes, only small things that you wouldn't notice until the back of your brain suddenly realized the change. And by then the person had already rounded a corner out of sight where you couldn't check again. I convinced myself it had to have been my imagination, or maybe the person had gotten surgery. I mean, I didn't know what the financial situation of random people on the street was, so I guessed it was possible someone could have gotten a mole removed from their cheek, or maybe I only thought they had a scar on their left side of their forehead. It's not like I saw them every day, so they could have gotten the time to get beautification done with no one being the wiser. I put it in the back of my mind every time I noticed it, coming to the conclusion that I shouldn't be involved in other people's business. I had my own to deal with at work. I had my own life I needed to worry about. That was until I began noticing the same sort of changes in my co-workers. Delilah was the first, and by far the most obvious. A very lovely and kind-hearted woman in her mid-50s, sporting crow's feet as well as an obvious eye made of glass. The original lost to cancer. She loved her glass eye and made sure to get it in a different colour than her working one. So whenever she came by to have a chat with me during our break, or just brought me some coffee in my favourite mug, I'd always see that bright red eye from all the way down the hall. But now it's gone, and in its place is a vibrant and blue eye matching the other one. It wasn't as if she had just gotten another glass eye or anything of the sort. That thing was looking around, blinking, and the scars of her surgery to remove it in the first place weren't even there. Her crow's feet were also barely noticeable. It was like the clock had rolled back 10 years for her. Fred's golden tooth was gone the next day, replaced with a perfectly normal one. When I asked him about it, he just looked at me with confusion and said he didn't know what I was talking about. Needless to say, I was very freaked out when I went home that night. I knew if I told Jack, my boyfriend, he wouldn't believe me. He'd just think, damn, Gary's losing his mind. First the people on the street looking different, and now his co-workers, better dump his ass. So I didn't mention it, and I just told him I got into an argument with some random arsehole on the way back home. I know what I saw, and the last time I checked, I wasn't a damn schizo, so obviously something bad was going on. But that wasn't the worst of it. Not by a long shot. Have you ever seen your reflection from far away? It doesn't matter where. It could be at a weird angle, it could be at any time. But if you're not expecting it, you freeze and your mind goes into mental overdrive as it's trying to figure out why a person who looks just like you is now staring you down. I had been getting out of the corner shop near my workplace when I saw me, just walking down the road in some skinny jeans and a hoodie with a large frowny face on the middle. They looked bored, their hair short with the sides nearly completely bald. They even had the small scar on the tip of their nose that I had gotten when I was a kid. They didn't notice me, or if they did, they completely ignored me as they walked past the corner. I was completely stunned, but then that little inner voice in the back of my mind screamed, "No, this can't be happening, that's not me. Man up. Follow them, make sure it's not you." I did what my brain said after working up the courage, like I'm just gonna let that slide on without me doing anything about it. So I followed, and I rounded the corner, hoping to God that they weren't there, or they looked different enough that I could sigh in relief. But they were still there. In fact, they were on the phone to someone. Their voice was mine, the way they talked was how I talked. Everything was just exactly me. It was like I had been playing a first-person game all my life and suddenly turned into a third person. It was hard to tell who they were talking to, but with each sentence the other me spoke, I was able to slowly piece it together. They were talking to Mickey, one of my exes. It had to be me. The other me was asking about how the gym was going, and Mickey owned a gym. But the problem was Mickey and I broke up 5 years ago, and he sold his gym on the year we broke up. So what the hell is this identical version of me doing, ringing my ex and asking about their defunct business? I mean, sure, me and Mickey broke up on not the best of terms, but I don't dislike the guy. I wouldn't rub his past business failures in his face or anything. I followed them for what felt like hours, probably was just half an hour though. The sun was setting when they finally reached their destination. I was just glad they hadn't arrived at my apartment building or anything. But it was a place I remembered. It was a place I was staying at before I met Jack, when I was going out with Mickey and when I was still going to college. I decided to move in with Jack because I didn't feel safe there. I swear that place was haunted or something was stalking me. It always felt like I was being watched by something. I stopped following when they went inside. I mean, what else was I going to do? Barge in, ask him why we looked alike? That wouldn't end well. So I went home, pretended like nothing happened and thought that was it. But I kept seeing me out in the street, and each time I saw me I just couldn't help but follow them from a distance. Always until they returned home. Sometimes I told Jack I was going out for a walk at night, but really I just felt like I needed to keep an eye on the other me. I'd go to their apartment and watch them through the window. I didn't trust them. They could be planning to come after me. I mean, why else were random people on the street suddenly looking different? Why did Delilah suddenly have her eye back? People are getting replaced by themselves or something pretending to be them. And I'm not going to let some doppelganging asshole take over my life. So that's where I am now. I don't really know what to do. I don't know who I should tell, or even if I can tell anyone about this. They would think I'm crazy, even though I'm not. I've been watching myself for the past 2 months now, but I don't know what else I should do. I need to prepare in the chance they decide it's their time to murder me and take my place without Jack being any the wiser. I was thinking maybe I should go on the offensive, make sure that they can't hurt me by doing them in first. But I don't know if I can actually go through with that. Please, tell me what I should do. I don't even care if you believe me or not. I just need to know what I need to do so I don't end up dead with no one caring. Because there's a fake me taking over from there. At this point, I'm starting to really wish I was just losing my grip with reality. Thank you for listening, and if you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video, as it helps more people to find it. Join me for live streams on TikTok several times a week. You can find my profile in the description, or just search Bad Dream Baby. And if you'd like even more content, consider subscribing to my Patreon account, linked in the description. Until next time, good night.